This is what I was arguing with the guys yesterday on, Best of Enemies, right? And they're not having it. But I'm like, how can we win the Europa League? We're not in it. We didn't finish 6th and 7th to be in that competition, right? We can't be in the, what's the other one? Conference League, because we didn't finish 7th. We finished 2nd, right? So we're not in a competition. So yes, you would have saved your season, because to me, I don't think they've had good seasons. I think they would have saved their season, and it's a trophy, and fair play to them, they would have got a trophy in that. But to start comparing and saying, "Oh, we've had a better season," you haven't. You've lost 20 games in a. I just can't see how you can spin that to you having a good season. I don't know what you think.
No, I agree. I mean, the aesthetics of winning a trophy, of course, it makes it look like you've had a degree of success, which they have. When you consider as well, they've not won trophy for God knows. This is Tottenham, by the way. God knows how long. And but they've been so poor in the league that you can't look at that as a successful season. Also, I mean, look at the fans. They want him out.
Well, so, that's exactly what I'm saying. If they think it's a successful season, like I'm just talking about Spurs a minute, like give Ange another 5-year contract tomorrow. Well, if they win it, on the next day give him a 5-year contract, because that's what. He's done what he's done. Listen, if they do go on and win the trophy, it's great. But isn't it ironic you got them two, like Expressions and KG, both mouthing off about it, right? One of them's going to be happy, one of them's not.
Yeah.
So, all of a sudden, like, what's the thing if you?
And we're not actually out yet, as well. By the way, we're not actually out yet. But the way they were going on about it, and they're trying to say, I'm sorry, I'm not having it.
Did you see Expressions, by the way? I've got to call his card, man. Was that you jumping around with a PSG shirt?
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, come on.
Come on, like.
Come on, man. That's shameless.
That's how great a season he's had. He's gone and started supporting other teams. You know what I mean?
Which is what Spurs fans always do.
I could never do that. Man. Foreign team and go and support another.
Expressions, you're my guy, but come on, bro. That was beneath you. You're better than that, bro.
But what I'd say, I'm just not having that argument. Those two teams have been not only poor, I think they've been exceptionally poor this season. They have to lose. Listen, if you lose, imagine it was us and we lost 16. Wolverhampton United lost 16 games.
Well, and Tottenham 19.
And lost in Tottenham 19 games. They got Liverpool this weekend. It could be.
There will be more.
Sorry, no, they ain't got Liverpool this weekend. No, they got West Ham. They could be 20 games.
If West Ham beat them, they drop another play, they go 4th from bottom of the league.
And let's put it into context as well. The Europa League this year is not the same as it was in previous years.
No.
It's been a watered-down competition because of the rule change.
Brilliant point.
Yeah,
brilliant point.
Yeah, you got no teams that drop into the Europa League. So,
and they were slagging, Tottenham fans were slagging off West Ham about the Conference League a few years. It's the same simple thing.
Yeah.
The actual, because if you think back when West Ham, if I'm right where I'm saying, the teams from the Europa League dropped into the Conference League, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
West Ham still went and won that. There's no dropping from, you know what I mean? So realistically, the Conference League is now, or what is the Europa League now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, as you say, walk down version.
Worst comes to the worst. Who do you prefer to win it? You don't want anyone to win it.
I like Bodo. I've got a soft spot for Bodo.
Hey, that ain't over yet, by the way, because
that's done.
That second leg's on a plastic pitch.
I only want Manchester United to win 2 games a season. 3 if they play them in the cup. So there's your answer.
Although Spurs have beaten them 3 times already this season.
Yeah.
And that would be the Spurs thing to do.
But I'm with you, mate. I mean, maybe it's because you live down the road from me. Yeah. And all of the Tottenham fans I've come across recently.
This guy here, Imagine, he says, if Spurs win the Europa League, they would have had a better season if we get knocked out. I'm an Arsenal fan, and it's pure facts, not facts. No. It's not fact. You've got to take things.
19 defeats.
We're not in the Europa League, bro. You know what I mean? It's what I was trying to make to those guys yesterday. They're like, oh, we won our game. You lost yours. I go, yeah, we're not playing Bodo Glimt. We're playing PSG with some of the best players around, right? With a team that's got a budget bigger than us. That's what people forget. They're a big, big side, right? Who've been literally their main focus every year, because they're going to win their league, is to win the Champions League, right? We're not playing Bodo Glimt, who've made their first ever semi-final because the competition's been watered down, right? So, how you can't compare the two. It's not as simple as, like Lee said, You know, it's not as simple as just lifting a trophy. Leeds have had a better season than us then. Because they've just lifted.
You know
they've
what?
just lifted a trophy.
You know
Whoever's going to lift a trophy in League One's have a better season.
You know what? I was just thinking about
ridiculous.
something. You know, I love my boxing, so I often make analogies between boxing. So that would be like, Robbie, say you were fighting for a world title and you come up short, and then I fight for an area title.
Well, that's exactly the point I made yesterday on the show. I said,
if I fight for area title and win, I was like, I'm a better fighter than Robbie because look, I won a title.
Laurie, that's exactly the point I made on the show yesterday. I go, that's like we fought for a world title, right? And we lost, and you was in the ABAs and you won. You've had a more successful. It's, come on, put things into context.
The other thing
ridiculous.
The other thing you have to look at it, right, is the 5 best teams in Italy didn't go in that competition. The 4 best teams in England didn't go in that competition. The 3 best French teams didn't go in that competition. The 3 best Dutch teams didn't go in that competition. You go on and on and on. You know what I mean? So it basically is the teams that come mid-table, you know. And at the end of the day, I didn't see Spurs celebrating and on the streets because they got to the Europa League Cup final. A cup, they was disappointed that they didn't get into the Champions League. I'm pretty sure. So what's all this? We've got to get top 4 then. Like, well, the best thing to do is not get top 4
and just
win a trophy.
Go and win that every year.
And don't forget the greatest thing about it, though, and one of them will get Champions League football.
Yeah, that's the big prize.
That's the big prize.
Which is, when you see their position in the league, doesn't seem fair, but it is what it is. I Want Candy says, just seen Turkish's prediction. I want to know what he's been smoking, right? I think Turkish for this game today predicted something like 7-6. I think that's out of frustration. In other words, what he's saying is he don't really care what happens today. But listen, we've still got to get into those Champions League places. We've got to secure that. Jordan Evans says, if I got silver in the Olympics and my mate got gold at the local 100 metres dash,
that's a similar type,
has he ran a better race than me? There's levels in competitions. Exactly. You know,
that's the point.
As I said, the competitions like the FA Cup that we were in, that subsequently, like, you know, City could win, they would have had a better season than us because we could have won that too. And so with that, we can't argue. We can't argue the Carabao Cup one because we were in that too. You know?
And another thing, and I'm not making this up when I say it, like, you know, they got like Spurs fans going to the Emirates with PSG and all that. Like, I didn't even watch those 2 games. I weren't bothered.
Yeah,
I went to a show. I'm not bothered about it. You know, and I can tell you this now. They're playing next week. Those 2 teams. The playoffs semi-finals on that day, Sheffield United versus Bristol City. I'll be watching that. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in it.
Listen, back to our game. Of course, it's a game that we lost earlier on in the season. That game when we went down to 10 men. Remember?
Saliba me and you was at that game.
Yeah. The Saliba sending off went down to 10 men, lost that game.
Crossbar challenge game as well. That's where we done the crossbar.
That was a take. Yeah, when you were Junior.
It wasn't a good day.
Oh my God, man! The less said about that crossbar challenge, the better. But you know, Bournemouth, they've been a bit up and down this season. They got a draw last week against Man United. Were well on top in that game, and you know, then they had a man sent off, Evan Nilsson. That got overturned. It was a ridiculous sending off, as we've seen throughout the season. And actually on sending offs, it was very interesting. I heard what Arteta said yesterday. It's exactly what I said right at the start of the season. He said that they were talking about sending offs, and he goes, you're on about the sending offs that we had at the start of the season that we haven't seen since because they've just got rid of. But it's the same thing I said. Go back and watch videos earlier on in the season. I said, you'll see them quietly fade away. That one that they had about delaying a restart. Otherwise, they're going to be sending off people every week, and that's exactly what's happened.
Although Saka did get booked for kicking the ball away again.
Yeah, but
that's always been there.
That's
always been there.
But this one delaying the restart, just it was ridiculous. So it's a game today that we really want to win. I mean, if we win today's game. We're on 70 points. If Chelsea lose tomorrow, we're definitely secure the top 4 place. And the consequences of that could be that, let's just say, we were successful against PSG, and then you've got a Champions League final looming. You can then rest players if you want to. So without having to worry about the consequences of dropping points in the league. So today's quite an important game. Plus as well, the mood's a bit down. Because of the other night. Go and get a win. All these draws. How many draws we had? 13.
Unlucky for some. Certainly for us.
I must say, I can never quite comprehend when I chat to Arsenal fans. Chat to a few in the coffee shop today, and they have this kind of nonchalant, blasé attitude about today's game. Like I can't rock with that. If your team's out there, man, we got to try and win this game. Every game is important.
I agree, and that's. But I was funny enough talking about it coming up on the train. I don't mind if we don't win the game. If you put out a really load of kids and a weakened team, but when you put out a good side and taking risks like you did against Crystal Palace, and then they produce a crap performance, that's what gives me the ump. So it'd be very interesting to see what the team is today. If he picks a strong team, then I expect us to go there and win it. If they don't, that's...
No, but I mean, even that, right? I've heard a lot of people with this. Me and Robbie was talking about it off air, about that balance you need to strike between resting, rotating, and, stuff like that. But in any sport, right, you get your confidence from your preparation. These games, as well as wanting to win, right, to strengthen our position in the league, it is preparation for the game on Wednesday. So you can't turn things on and off like a tap.
You don't want to go and get someone injured like an important player.
I hear that. But what I'm saying, you can't drop a stinker today and then expect to go into Wednesday's game full of confidence.
I agree.
It's all about momentum and building a winning ethos like that. As soon as you pull on that shirt, man, you're looking to win. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people at this moment in time. And listen, I'm not criticising this as well. They don't care about if we win or lose. I always want to win.
I do.
And you know what I mean? Like, I get it. It's not the be and end all, but I still want to win today.
Of course, yeah.
If we lose today, I won't lose as much sleep as I normally do.
I know it's not as much jeopardy as there might have been.
So what I don't want today, and this is the thing, this is what I don't want today, right? Two things not happening today. If we win today, but Declan Rice or Partey get injured, then I'll be furious. Because that win is nothing compared to players getting injured. So that is the problem today.
Yeah, but you talk about injuries, right? And listen, we can debate that to death. But listen, we've seen players get injured in the warm-up. Players get injured in training. So when people say, oh, no, let's just play... I'm not so sure about that, man. You want to have players, by the time they take the pitch on Wednesday, they're at the top of their form, looking forward to...
100%.
Because we're going to need these guys, man. That Wednesday is going to be a very difficult game. So you want guys that are fully prepped, ready, in good form, and ready to embrace the challenge. Not guys that have been in and out of form, rested, this, that, and you're not. You know what I'm saying?
I agree, and that's where you've got to get the fine balance, and this is where the manager earns his money.
Yep.
I'm sorry, you know what I mean? He has
to say, mate, I thought he agree with a lot of what you said. In fact, I saw your little tete-a-tete on the way back from the box park the other day. I was going to ring Robbie up and ask him if he was all right. I thought I might, as his older brother, I was thinking, I might have to pull up. But you know what? You were both right. You both made very good points on the same. So two things can be true at the same time.
Yeah, of course. And I think someone said you only done that because Robbie's lost a lot of weight. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's come down. He's come down a couple of weights.
But I love the passion because, like I said, you both made good points.
Listen,
both right.
I look back on that. I was so gutted. I was on the brink. I was on the brink, and Robbie knew what he was doing.
I didn't know what I was doing. Anything. It's a simple question.
He's just.
No, I don't think he was trying to wind you up.
Yeah. No, I think he was just. It doesn't. Robbie's very good.
He was just presenting what I thought was the other side of the coin.
He's a very good interviewer.
He was.
He's a very good interviewer, and he knows what. Listen,
I loved it.
There are times. I go back to there was an interview with Ange a few months back, you know what I mean? And the interviewer was doing it good interview, and Robbie knows what he's doing, you know what I mean?
Press buttons.
To press certain buttons.
You don't need to press no buttons with you.
No,
but the point you made about Lewis Skelly is one that I kind of, that's where he made his name, in midfield. So, and where I had a little issue, and I said this to Robbie as well, is like, with Mars Lewis Skelly, how did you know he was going to be a left back unless you gave him that opportunity? Well, so you were right as well.
Yeah, you know I get
you were both right.
When I look back at that, and hindsight, we could go on about hindsight, but I actually said before this, if you put Lewis Skelly in there, it was one change, left back and him. Thomas Partey's out, but Rice stays in his same position, Mourinho stays in his position. Yeah. But by what he's doing, what he done, he actually took Mourinho out of his position, Declan Rice out of his position. You
It was
know what I mean?
unbalanced.
And it was unbalanced in midfield. Like. And all my argument is it's not like people go, oh, you've been negative and all that. I've never been, you know what I mean? I still think that we could go on and win the game. I'm not saying that we don't, and we do. But what I'm saying is, I think when you're on £12 million a year, right? I think he should be good enough to go, do you know what, that's not right, that's not right now. And now if he goes with it, change it.
Right, listen, I've got the team.
Right,
let me give you the team. So this is the team that's going to take on
Am I
Bournemouth.
going to like Mikel or not?
Let's see. Right, Raya,
Yes.
Ben White.
Yes.
See, Raya's got to play in goal, but just remembering Neto can't even play in it because that's his team in it, Bournemouth. Right, so he wouldn't.
Yes, that's true.
Right, so Raya in goal, Ben White in for Timber,
Yep.
Saliba and Kivior,
Yep.
Lewis Skelly
Yep.
in at left back right from the start,
Surprised.
a midfield of Thomas Partey,
Yes.
Declan Rice,
I hate you now, Mikel.
Martin Odegaard,
Ridiculous.
right?
Oh,
And
you left him out.
up front, Saka,
Yep.
Martinelli, and Trossard. That's a very strong side, right? And on the bench, Setford, Tierney, Zinchenko, Clark, Marino, Wanieri, Butler, Day, Gower, and Sterling.
Right, he has to win this game now.
That's a strong side.
No excuses. From
That's
the
like
manager.
literally.
He has to win this game.
I'd say probably on Wednesday, apart from
Marino,
probably coming in for Trossard. That's as strong as what he's got available right now. So he has gone very strong. He's obviously he wants to win this game.
Yeah, so he's under. If he does not win this game today, he's under the pump.
But you've
So I
got to
wouldn't
look at
play
it.
him.
You've got to look at it from the manager's
just
point
before
of view.
you
as well.
just say, Laurie, let me just give you the Bournemouth team. Kepper in goal. They're very talented. Hyson, who's been a lot of people have been looking at. Kirkes as well, another player that a lot of teams are interested in. Cook, Evan Nilsson, who's been having a great season. Dango, Adams, Tavernier, Cliver, also been playing well. Ajaro and Zabaraya. That is the Bournemouth squad. Senesi is on the bench. Semenyo's on the bench. That's a surprise that Semenyo's on the bench. But that is the Bournemouth team
My
today.
group chats are going mad, like ridiculous.
He hasn't really. I thought he might have rested a few more, but he hasn't.
You know
Has it
what?
gone to your point, Laurie?
Yeah, exactly. You're prepping. And the other thing as well, it's kind of gone under the radar, but our league form recently has not been good. It's one win in the last 4 games. Yeah, I mean,
It's all draws, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, we drew against what? Palace, Everton, Brentford. Okay, we beat Ipswich, but even then, they were down to 10 men, and they're useless.
Well, he's got to do the
so
bit.
we need a performance in the league as well.
Well,
so,
with that team out today, I expect Arsenal to win.
you want to see a win. That's a strong side.
I agree with that, to be honest. I want to see a strong side because, like I said, I want to see. Don't get me wrong. I want to see Wanieri and then man get some.
Well, I was going to ask you that, right? Wanieri's on the bench again. There's been a lot of talk about Martin Odegaard and his real loss of form. Would this been a good game to start Wanieri and maybe leave Odegaard out?
I think you could have gone either way, but I think he's showing faith in the captain, and I think that's good because Odegaard's been getting it, as we've all seen.
He's under pressure to have a big game today.
Yes, but let's be honest, he's not going to drop Odegaard for Wednesday, is he? He's just not going to do it. So if not, you might as well play him today. See if he can,
I agree.
See if he can get a good game under his belt. Again, that will give him encouragement and confidence for Wednesday.
I agree.
Right, to play Saka in from the start. And
Yeah,
I know you didn't want Rice in from the start.
No, Rice definitely not. I understand you've got to play Thomas Partey today, but I think Rice is the key to us winning in Paris.
Don't worry about Rice, mate. I mean, he ran the London Marathon last week, and he's still.
Yeah, he's unreal.
That engine
he's
is
unreal. But I just think that the way what he does is, I think if we are to win next week, what he does is
no, I agree.
Is where we're going to win it.
But I don't think he needs to be rested, though. I honestly think
I'm not saying rested. There's a difference between rested and just
but protection.
Protection. That's the word, Rob. Protection.
Yeah, but
Do you
want to wrap him in cotton wool?
Yes.
Yeah, I do today. I do.
You look at Declan Rice, right? The man plays with a smile on his face. He loves
Listen,
it.
Not if he gets injured.
Every time he goes near the ball today, I'm gonna be not enjoying it.
Every player that goes down today, any player that holds anything on their leg or anything like that, we're going to be like this.
But does he look tired to you in that second half? I mean, don't get me wrong, in the first half, he, like a lot of the players, wasn't up to it. Second half, though...
No, he gets stronger and stronger as the season goes on. I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with Saka playing. I think Saka needs to get momentum, get playing all that. And going back to Odegaard, I'm with you on this. This is the time when... It's not going well for him for whatever reason. Like, you make excuses or whatever. The facts of this matter in time. He's not playing well. He's not on form. But this is the time when, if you're in that position as a player, you need your manager to back you and believe in you, which Mikel's done. And I also think it's up to us fans to back him as well. Like,
oh, wow,
you know what I mean? We know he's not playing well, and if he's not playing well today again, then when you're should be coming in, and if he doesn't play well in Paris for a certain amount of time, then it goes, I've got him. But for me, you got to back him.
No, I agree.
And it is true what people say. Football fans have short memories. He is a good player.
He's a very good player.
You know what I mean? Last season he was brilliant for us. Like, you know what I mean? He's just lacking form.
Yeah, he's fallen off.
He's fallen off.
I never Jose said, Don, United won the Carabao, and you said that Arsenal were better, right? I think I might have said that last year, actually, because we finished so close to winning the league. There was an argument for that, but they did win. Last year, they did win it.
They didn't get Champions League football, did they?
No, they didn't.
So, like, Newcastle...
That's the
difference.
That's now I remembered it, because,
See, Newcastle... He helped you out with that one, mate.
He helped me out. No, but it's true. Newcastle, if they get Champions League football, which looks like they are going to, and they've won the Carabao, they've had a better season than us. If we go out.
And they knocked us out of that cup as well.
If we go out. Davey says, Ethan, a goal and assist every 180 minutes. Odegaard every 204 minutes. It's time. Well, it's not time today for the manager. He's still going with Odegaard.
Listen, I'm a big fan of Wanyeri. Massive fan. I think I've gone on record many times. Some people have slated me, but I'm doubling down on it. For me, he's the most exciting young talent in the Premier League right now. I want to see him get more minutes, but you've got to have faith in your captain. Yeah. You know what I mean? So Wanyeri's time will come. I want him to get minutes on Wednesday, but for now, stick with the captain.
Ray, with another super chat, says Rice plus Partey and MLS in midfield for PSG. Dini says, big up Dini, says, afternoon, gentlemen. Objective is simple. Win the game. If you get injured, walk it off. Just win the game and set a good mood for PSG.
Yeah.
Bless up.
Who's that, Dini?
Yeah.
Big up, Dini.
Now that we've seen the team, he's right in it. Like, let's go out there now and actually win. Yeah. Bournemouth for a good side, right? So let's go out there and win the game, right? And get yourself in a good way and a good mood, like he says, for that game on Wednesday. Because right now, people are down.
Exactly. I guarantee you this, people. If we win today and win well, right, the whole mood before Wednesday will change. We will go into that game optimistic. Whereas if today we don't get a result, we don't play well, it's a downer. So today is important. We need a win. We need the team to play well, score a couple of goals. It's not going to be easy, but that's what we want. That will give us the momentum we need when we go in the cauldron of PSG on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I hear what you're saying and all that. I think we need to win today. I do. How can I say it? Like, our home form,
it's not been great.
It's not been great.
No.
I actually, we've had to renew our season tickets this last week or so, and I can't have another season of that. If I'll be really honest, I mean, people go, you're being whatever, and I mean, I haven't been entertained. I've not been like the season before. The season before, it was a pleasure going over. It's been a little bit.
Yeah,
I chore this time, so we need to get back winning games at home.
Funny enough, I was discussing it with my other brother, coming down. We was chatting about Arsenal, and we were saying that, for next, like he was saying, what do we need next? He goes, because we were talking about the amount of injuries that we've had, right? When Arteta was saying yesterday in his press conference, when he looked around the dressing room and saw how many injured players were sat there, he couldn't believe it, right? You said, remember, did you see his press conference?
Yeah.
And I saw Havertz there, I saw Jesus there, Gabriel, this, he goes, and then I thought it's just a bit of a miracle that we even here where we are. We can hear some of that. But it's sort of like we were discussing what we got to do next season to, you know, to make it a season difference. And we all, you know, we both agree that we need a striker. But I also think the style of football needs to change a bit because we're too controlled, overly controlled, right? So in some of those games that when it's been a draw, nobody's really, you know, even despite the striker, has there been a player, you know, like the other night we was watching that game, Barcelona. Yamal's just let off the leash, innit? And said, it was just almost like, go and try and get us.
Unbelievable.
And he was absolutely brilliant. But
we haven't had games like that, Rob.
Yeah, but Yamal in Arsenal's system, would he be able to do that? Because then he's got to be tracking back. And that Salah said the other day, he said it. He said to the manager, Arne Slot at the start of the season, is allow me to just go up there and try and score. I'll score you goals but I can't. If you got me tracking back and all that for every move, I ain't gonna leave me up there. We're gonna. I feel look, we were both sort of saying it. Next season, he's got to mix it up a bit. He's got to be a bit more, especially at home. Yeah, a bit more attacking. It's too controlled.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes it's like so. We've had, how many games have we had that we've been in the lead? You said it to me earlier. Yeah. We've been in the lead in loads. We ain't lost these games, but like the Palace game, we're in the lead, are in total control, but you haven't got the second goal yet. Yeah. And until you get that second goal, you know, Arsenal get a second goal in most games, it's more or less dead because they've got so much control. But it's because we don't go for it, innit? We've stopped doing that.
There's a method, isn't there? There's a method of the way our Arsenal play.
Hasn't worked, has it?
And you made a great point the other day as well, like, you know, you don't make many, but you did make this one, like, you know, which was great. Well, you actually
I knew that was coming.
He actually said that, you know, we're 1-0 down at the moment. Like, now, Mikel, there's a thing in his brain which is saying that we keep it, hold it at 1-0. We might get something here and get something there. It's all too method, like, you know. Yeah. That game on Barcelona, you're never going to see that over at the Emirates. Not this season. You have in the past.
Couple of seasons ago. Even last season.
Yeah, and it was great too. Yeah. But I used to come away like entertained and all that. Now, at the end of the day, that Barcelona, if we'd have played like that against PSG and we ended up losing 2-1, I wouldn't have come out moaning and groaning about that because you said, wow, we turned up and we just got done by this and done that. But we didn't turn up, we just played this methodic game of chess and they had the armoury to come around all that. Like.
And the chess method that he plays works well away. When you play away from home, that actually works because teams are coming onto us more, we kind of like hard to, and then we can catch them. But at home, man, next season, even strikers, whatever, we need to go for it a bit more. I just feel that in that Palace game, I know it was just before, you know, we were going into the big game against PSG, but I just felt that like, go and come on now. Why are we just like passing
I mean, I don't know what you guys think,
but
I must have said it, as much as the players got a lot of stick, quite rightly as well, because they were poor for vast spells of that game. But I thought the manager dropped the ball as well. I mean, let's look at that game. I mean, like, the first substitution he made was in the 85th minute, and it was a right back. Okay, you could argue that Timber was carrying or not, but to wait that long to make a substitution, he didn't bring Wanyeri on until the 89th minute.
That's what we're saying about this.
Yeah, so
1-0 thing, like,
because really and truly, the reason why he did that is because he's looking at it and thinking, let's not concede another, which, all right, fair enough, because you're still in the tie, but does that go to sort of tell us a bit?
Design, you know.
Well, I don't think
you know
it
why?
was.
You know why I say that? Because if you remember that game, which I'm sure you do, towards the end of that game,
they had chances.
PSG had about 3.
Yeah, they did, but
easy chances.
But but it does go to that. But does that make it even more that he's thinking, if I bring someone on? They've just had a chance. I need to make sure that we don't concede a second. Right?
I'm holding my power to dry.
But he's very cautious in that way. Yeah. Whereas a couple of seasons ago he weren't. Well, he would have went for it more.
If this is why I'm not going to be cautious on. I'm very cautious on Mikel. There's a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon about. If he goes over to Paris next week, and it could happen. They go and win 3-0. Just say that they do. You would turn around and go, that is genius, because he kept it 1-0. We could have lost that side, and he's ended up doing what he's doing. Genius. If he doesn't, he's under the pump. I think that's where it comes to now, like, you know what I mean, with him. Like, I believe that he did miss a, but you can't say it because, as he's quite rightly says, it's half time.
Well, I mean, we're not out of it, so yeah.
Some more super chats here. Constantine says, questions for Arteta if we don't win the Champions League. Mark T says, Odegaard has a big part to play today. Yeah, he's got to step up, Mark, today. Khalid says, I understand a stronger lineup, but this is crazy. So Khalid's not with it. And Sarfach says, the season United won the Carabao, they finished third.
What, last year? Well, no,
last year they won the FA Cup.
They won the FA Cup last year.
Yeah, okay. Neville says, no, Don, you said the 2023 United when they got into the Champions League. Okay, I stand corrected.
Cool, I remember all this stuff.
Khalid says, I feel like he's worried about the top four, not the Champions League. So there's a lot of people not too happy with how strong we've gone. As long as no one don't get injured, I mean, I think it's right to leave out Timber. I'm like Lee would have been considering leaving out Rice, man, because, you know, and Saka. Because
Saka's only just come
because
back.
it's cotton
No,
wool time.
I think Saka's still got to play. I would.
Cotton wool time, man. Any of them two are missing for that game on Wednesday.
Okay in midfield.
Good night.
Shinchenko's done okay in midfield. Why don't play him? But
any of them two missing for Wednesday, man. I'm not.
I'm with you on that. Saka won't finish this game today. He'll play about 60 odd minutes. But I do think that he still needs game time.
Yeah,
I don't think he's.
It'd be wrong of us to expect him to be, because I mean he was out for ages. He's just really come back. Recently.
And he's done fantastically well to come back from that injury.
Enchanted Angel says, Robbie, has Uncle Ty paid for the camera yet? No. He's still not paid for.
We ain't seen him since. I haven't seen him.
No, I saw him the other day, man.
He's been in hiding, the boy.
He's in hiding, yeah. Predictions, Laurie.
I'm going to go with what I said earlier. I think Arsenal, I'm with the manager putting a strong team out. We need a win. Like I said, 1 win in 4 in the Premier League, not good enough. Let's get a win today. I think we can do it. I'm going 2-0 Arsenal.
2-0.
I did say 2-1 earlier, but now I've heard the team.
Yeah, I went 2-1, but I'm going 2-0 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've changed my mind.
I'm still going 2-1. Isabella McDonald says, do you think we'll win in Paris? So let me ask you that question.
You know what? That is a great question. I must admit, in the immediate aftermath of the defeat, I was a bit crestfallen, and it's probably to do with the performance, because I just don't think we got going. Like with a lot of other things, when you've had a bit more time to think about it, the fact that we were only 1-0 down, I think we can. It's crucial that we score first. If we score first on Wednesday, then I think we can go on and win it. Because from what I'm hearing, and I heard this from Stuart, PSG fan, big up yourself, he said to me that his worry is that PSG, they're young guys and they can crack under pressure. So if we get the first goal...
Dembele looking like he's out.
Sorry? I think they're saying he'll be all right.
What, with an name?
He'll be.
He's not... They said he's... the way they described it, it sounds to me like he'll play. Sean Page says, he's another super chat, seen the team PSG have put out, they've rested all their big guns. But they can afford to, because they've won the league. They won the league a couple of weeks ago.
They're resting all their big guns, but the week before we played them, they played all of those guys and lost.
So that don't mean nothing.
Yeah, it don't.
Yeah, it don't mean...
I personally don't... If I'm a betting man, I think... it's going to be very, very tough. But I agree with what you said and whatever. Like, it's going to have to be a madness if Arsenal win this game. An absolute madness.
It's going to be some stage at that game. Arsenal are going to have to go for it.
I think they're going to need to score.
PSG, by the way, is when people turn around to me. We've been to a lot of games all around the world. You know, you've been to more than me. But when they go, which is the best atmosphere? PSG's up there.
Yeah,
it is hostile. It is one of the most. When I went there, the most loudest, I could not believe it. They do not, and you know, like what their away fans are like. That's all around the stadium.
Wow,
it is unreal. So when you say, oh yeah, it's an easy, you know, go out there, it's going to be a tough ask.
However, Liverpool won it.
Liverpool won
it. They got absolutely battered for the whole game.
And won
they got the goal at the end. You know what I mean? United a couple of seasons ago. Remember they went there,
didn't they?
Yeah, lost on penalties in the end. So let me just give you the Arsenal team again that's going to be playing against Bournemouth. In goal, David Raya. Of course, he has to start because Neto How many games has Neto
One.
played? He's only played one game the whole season. But of course, he's on loan from Bournemouth, so he can't play. Ben White is in for Urian Timber. Saliba and Kivior and Lewis Skelly keeps his place. Quite surprised at that. I thought you might have maybe gone with a Zinchenko or somebody like that for this game and rested Lewis Skelly. I guess 18-year-old, young guy, strong. A midfield of Rice, Partey and Martin Odegaard, the captain. And up front is Saka, Martinelli and Trossard. On the bench, Setford, the young keeper, comes in. Tierney, Zinchenko, Clark, Marino, Wainieri, Butler, Day, Gower and Sterling. Now, I think that team suggests to us that the manager is saying, go out there, show us, win this game, play yourself. What Laurie's saying, play yourself back into some form. We've got a big assignment on Wednesday. Yep. It is on Wednesday as well. Today's Saturday, so they've got enough time to prepare for that game. Yeah, guys.
You start with Marino up top.
I'm going to ask that one question. What happens today, right? We all think that Marino's going to start on Wednesday. What happens if Trossard scores hat-trick today?
I'd still play Marino. Because
That's
I just
very harsh. For a
you know
player
what?
hat-trick.
Then you maybe consider. I'd still play Marino because.
He gets 4 then.
I just think that Trossard down
He
the
gets
middle.
5 goals today.
Would that be a
In
consideration?
7-6 win. He scores 5 goals
A
today.
7-6 win. It's Turkish is a prediction, but you know what? He don't hold the ball up. It's not his fault. It's just that he's just not built to hold the ball in a game like PSG.
Especially away from home, you're going to need something.
And aerially, when a ball's being whipped in, he's not going to get ahead on it. So that would be my thing.
Yeah,
but
Marino starts regardless.
Yeah, he's on good form in goal scoring form in the league. Trossard.
Yeah.
So
He is. To me, Trossard's strength can also be his weakness. He's what I call a clutch player. He's a moments player.
yeah, he could be the guy who comes off the bench and wins it for us.
Yeah, so
You never know. But let's hope these guys can play themselves up into form. Particularly, I feel important game today for Martin Odegaard. He's had a lot of doubters on him after his last few performances. Let's see how he gets on today. Don't forget, guys, watch along is coming up here. Laurie's here. Who we got? Cecil, James, Turkish.
Yeah, Stricto as well.
And Stricto's in the building as well. So make sure you check out the watch along. We're going to be at the game. After the game, I'll be speaking to Leo. Go lightly on me, yeah? You'll be nice to me, yeah?
I'll be very nice.
Right, so make sure you check us out after the game as well. We'll be speaking to the fans and getting their opinions. But listen, guys, it's Arsenal versus Bournemouth, 5:30 kickoff UK time. Big game, strong team from Arsenal. Let's go out there and get the win.